Eric Wilson here, 30-year licensed mechanic. Next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you the inside story on this 2012 GMC Acadia so you can make yourself an informed decision. Coming in on the front left tire, I should say, these are aggressive snow tires and about 100% tread on it. Like, look, they're not new, they're right next to it. Okay, coming behind the front left tire, this is the lower ball joint. It is tight, critical, because it holds the wheel to the chassis. This is the outer CV boot. Now, these are full of grease, and if it was ripped, you'd see grease all over the place. So that's good because that grease lubricates the CV joint right there to drive the car forward. This is your front brakes. You've got about, I'm going to say, about 15,000 K left on the front brakes. They're down a little bit, but definitely not out. Coming behind, now this is your left outer tie rod. Most important thing in the whole car. It's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering. It is tight. Your sway bar link, left sway bar link connected from here up to there, intact, doing its job. This is your inner CV boot. Now this is your inner CV boot again, same thing, full of grease. More important, look behind there. See how dry that is? That's important because that's a leak point. If it was leaking, you'd see oil all over the place. That is good and dry. So no leaks that I can see. This is the bottom of the transmission again. If it was leaking, you'd see it right away. This is another leak point right here. If it was going to leak, it's going to leak right here where the drive shaft comes out of the transfer case. Good and dry. Bottom of the transfer case, good and dry. The bottom of the motor. This is the bottom of the oil pan here. Again, good and dry, a little dirty, but definitely not oily. So that's important. Nobody wants oil on their driveway. Now, coming across to the front right tire, gain about 80 to 90% tread on aggressive snow tires. So you're definitely set for the winter time. About 15,000 K on your front brakes. The right outer CV boot, not ripped. You'd see grease all over the place. The right inner CV boot, again, good and dry, no grease. And more importantly, I don't see any leaks. Now, coming behind the front right tire, your right outer tie rod, good and tight, critical. Your right lower ball joint, tight. Your right sway bar link connected from here up to there, intact, doing its job. Now, coming down on the, okay, now this is your, there's a catalytic converter, nothing wrong with it. The trouble is, people are reaching under here with a sawzall and going cut, and you got yourself a $1,000 repair, and it's gone in less than 3 minutes. If you buy the car, I'm going to install, free for nothing, a catalytic theft protection system. Doesn't cost you a penny, and it's going to shut that down from happening because we just want you to be safe and not lose your cat. That is never a good thing. Now, coming down, the following exhaust all the way down, no issues with the exhaust, everything clean with your exhaust. Now, don't see any issues with your exhaust. You got the dual mufflers here, and they look good. Got a class 3 hitch, kind of handy, and a 7 point hook up there, so you can pull pretty much anything you want to pull. Coming across to the right rear tire, gain about 80 to 90% tread on aggressive snow tires. Your right rear suspension is intact, no cracks, no breaks. Your right rear brakes, I'm going to say, you got about 20,000, a little more brakes in the back than you got on the front, about 20,000 K on your right rear brakes. This is the control arm right here. Control arm is tight. Your left rear shock, pardon me, your right rear shock, again, full of oil. If it was leaking, you see oil dripping all the way down there. Good and dry. The outer CV boot on the right rear, again, good and dry. More importantly, notice here, this is the leak point. If it was leaking, you see it all the way there. You'd see, and this is the bottom of the diff here. Again, good and dry. The inner CV boot, the outer CV boot on the right, see for yourself, good and dry. Now your right sway bar connector, connected from here down to there, a little harder to see, but intact, doing its job. Coming across, got your spare tire. Got your spare tire just in case. Coming across to the left rear tire, good on the 80-90% tread on aggressive snow tires. Your left rear suspension intact, no brakes. Your left sway bar link connected from there down to here. Your left inner CV boot, okay, again, dry, and more importantly, dry, because that's a leak point right there. Now, the left outer CV boot, again, good and dry. Your connections, your left rear shock, again, full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it all the way down, coming down here. Connections, sway bar, your lower ball joint connections, tight and tight. So I'm not seeing any issue leak-wise, brake-wise, suspension-wise on the rear on this vehicle. So I'll take you up top and show you what the story is there. Okay, you got a crack in your windshield. Yeah, there you go. And so you're gonna need that replaced. The dash is looking clean here. Yeah, a couple of dings here in the vinyl. Yeah, and I'll show you what the motor is doing now. Now you've got a check engine light, and that check engine light is part of the evap system, which has to be changed up. It's about a $400 job. Not a big job, but it's part and labor is about $400 for that check engine light to go away. Anyway, just so that you're aware of it, yeah, everything's flowing nice here. Cold AC, hot on your heat. Let's check your seats out here. Oh yeah, seats are working, and yeah, seats are working there, bro. Yeah, you can see a little better there. Okay, there you go. Seats are working. All your heated seats are working. Yeah, so I'll take you out and show you condition of the motor now. Okay, 3.6 motor. Been around for a long time. I'm not hearing anything of any concern on this motor. Now, I'm not hearing anything of any concern. Now, the first thing I always look at and this is something you should do as well. If you're ever going to look to buy a car, first thing you do, take the oil cap off the motor, okay? That's the oil. And turn around and look for white goo. If you see any white goo, walk away, because that's an indication of an internal leak in the motor of oil and antifreeze mixing. And I don't see any. This is good and clean, and I don't hear any concern about this motor as well. So anyway, other than the evap, cracked windshield and that evap canister that needs to be changed, I don't see any problem with this car. Hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. And and don't forget, if you buy it, come to me. I'm going to put the catalytic theft protection on it, and I'm going to give you a 10% fuel saving device for free. I've used these for 20 years. They never fail. 10% forever. So that's if you buy it. I'll be happy to help you with that. And if you're looking for it, if this is not what you want, by all means, ask Naz, because he is prepared to get me to show you the inside story on anything. He's simply got nothing to hide. Have a good one.